Hi Leo, welcome to your What They Aren't Telling You for March 22nd through April 5th. Everything you need to know about this reading is in the description box below, as per usual. Leo. Three of Swords. I feel like this is kind of a pensive state for you also. I feel like this is the initial crisis of it is over, and you're kind of sitting back and in that sort of pensive, thoughtful state, kind of reviewing things. I think you wanted something and someone else wasn't very trustworthy or reliable. And I'm not saying that because of the three, meaning third party situation. I mean, it could be, but I just feel like this is, you kind of knew it was coming, or you figured this might happen. Okay, all right. Eight of Swords. Ace of Swords. Page of Wands. Five of Swords. Queen of Pentacles. 10 of Wands. Knight of Swords. Okay. What's this Eight of Swords here? What's this Eight of Swords here? The High Priestess. So I think you're probably, in order to figure this out, I think you might feel like you're on your own, or like it wouldn't be in your best interest to involve this person in trying to sort out your feelings about this. So you're probably trying to just keep it to yourself and go inward, maybe, connect to source, use your intuition. But it could also be that you don't know what to do, because long after this person's gone, you still feel, not long after, but now that this person is gone, you still feel this connection to them. Quite possibly a spiritual or psychic connection, like they're just constantly on your mind, and you're like, my God, how am I ever supposed to get over this person if I can't stop thinking about them? What's this Ace of Swords about? So, it could look like things are in temporary separation, trial separation, or that there's been some kind of a break, or that perhaps someone has withdrawn and is trying to sort things out and this and that. But in reality, this is somebody that feels quite secure with a decision to cut things off. So they're probably, it might appear that they are torn, or that maybe that you're torn, but they're kind of still really mentally present, or at least thinking about this, and they're just kind of, because there is so much on their mind, it's best for their mental health to pull away and pull back, when in reality they have made the break and the cut, and they feel quite secure in that decision. What's this Five of Swords? What's this Five of Swords about? Wow. This is Queen of Pentacles. Leo, I think there might be somebody else. It's very easy for them to cut things off. And this could very much be now a third party situation, because we've got someone Well, now hold on. Sorry. It could be that someone's just fine with working and making their money and they're casually dating, but I feel like someone might be accomplishing two things by doing this. They're in a secure position and they've also had somebody else on the side. Okay, let me hold on a minute. What's this Three of Pentacles about? Two things. It could be they're married to their work right now. And, it could be also, too, that they're actually saying, you know what, I don't want to be married anymore. I just want to I need a break from being connected and committed and controlled. And I need a break from this stifling, doing things the way it's always been done, doing what's always been expected of me. I need just a break. And they're actually quite fine with that. So they're either married to their work or they're actually trying to work things out. They're in a secure position now and they're trying to work things out to make room for a new person that they see as being a viable option for connection, commitment, and partnership in the future. Either they're actively looking or there's somebody already in mind that they're trying to work towards. Typically, these two cards are very much independent cards, but when I threw them down, it just felt like they're cutting this off because they found somebody else they feel secure with, and they're starting to work towards and to date and to do things like that. There's already an interest in somebody else. What's this Ten of Wands about? I don't like it. So, they might be giving the impression that they're still really conflicted and they need some time and they're pulling back and they just don't want to be controlled anymore. They don't know what they want. Well, they're already moving towards somebody else and they're quite secure in their position. Work is good. They feel secure. Both of these speak to them feeling very secure. This speaks to somebody being very conflicted and kind of being mentally almost tortured by this. Like they're just really having a problem with it and they need to withdraw and they need to just, they're fine. Leo, they're fine. What's this Ten of Wands about? Okay, Ten of Wands, clarifying the Ten of Wands. There, it could be saying, I'm just really busy. I got a lot of things on my mind. We'll work it out. We're going to work for this. It's a lot of work. I just don't know. But prepare yourself for the unexpected. What's this Knight of Swords about? What's this Knight of Swords about? Yeah. This is someone that is, instead of being, this is just kind of hands off and we're going to see what happens. They're still open. They just know that right now is not the right time. This is about understanding that, but using it to their advantage. The victim, martyr, almost, acting like everything is one way, but in secret working it so that it works out in their favor when it appears like they have hands off. Like, well, I'm not, we're just going to let it see what happens, but all the while it's passive aggressive. Because all the while they're over here undermining any kind of forward progress that you two could be making. Why? They're all about cutting things off and starting anew in a secure position with someone else or working towards that someone else. They've already got someone or something in mind for their future security, and they are fine with things ending between you two. So, I'm getting some water here. This could be a Pisces, Gemini, Taurus, Libra, Capricorn. Pisces or Cancer. Taurus. I mean, it's a mixed bag, right? Okay. What else for Leo here? This is someone that's claiming hardship for this relationship and they just don't know anymore, and yet it's benefited them greatly and they plan to take that and pursue elsewhere. You might not have a problem with it. They might have actually been upfront and honest about this. I don't think so, because I feel like this is shady shenanigans right here. I feel like this is them saying one thing but very passively, aggressively, subterfuge or undermining and delaying things deliberately. So, let's just take a break, and it's just a lot of work. I just need time to myself. Well, they're going to delay and prolong that as long as they can, because they're just, This is Page of Wands about for Leo. Okay. Yeah, this is about you pulling back and regaining control, or surrounding yourself with people you can trust, because you're going to be probably going inward. You're going to be doing some soul searching. You're going to need to bounce some ideas off of somebody you can trust. Probably thinking about talking to somebody as far as wise counsel, or just getting, maybe talking to yourself, right? Having those conversations, just doing some soul searching so you can feel like you're back in control, or that you've got a handle on things. And instead of focusing your attention on this person, not that you have, but this is about finding, starting anew, the beginnings of starting anew in a different direction, away from this person. There's nothing for you here anymore. They're not telling you the truth, probably because it's just easier that way. They don't want the drama. They don't want to have to, as little as possible, which frankly is quite selfish. Closings are messy. Breakups are messy, but whatever. Closure's messy sometimes. But this is about trust, control, and doing some soul searching in light of realizing that this person probably emotionally detached long ago and they have moved on. This is just, the separation is just a formality at this point. What else for Leo? There's no easy way to do this, Leo. Observer. I think that goes along with what I said in the very beginning about how it felt like you were through the worst of it, or like you're just kind of sitting back, not sitting back, but I mean, it hadn't just happened. This is kind of in the throes of it, but the worst of it was over, and you're still kind of just looking back and processing and like, okay, I'm just kind of trying to go inward and use my intuition here. I'm trying to do some soul searching, when in fact, yeah, that would all speak to this right here, is that you're best suited being an observer. This could be that you're spending some time watching them online, and that's to your own deficit and torture. Because if there's no chance for reconciliation at this point, it's just serving to fuel some unnecessary fire. Could be that they're watching you online. It could be that this is just speaking of the position, you pulling back in that position. So you just doing some soul searching after the worst of it's over and watching how things play out. What else for it, Leo? Distant. Yes, I agree. Things might have been distant for a while. I also think it's wise to keep your distance from this person. It's probably not like they're knocking on your door, giving you a status update, telling you this, and then going off and doing something else. There's probably been a distance for quite some time, and you might be finding out about their newfound interests that happened maybe quite quickly after you two separated. And I don't know, that's never easy, is it? I don't know. This is talking about confusion, about things being bigger than they really are, the fear, everything. And once you sort of debunk them and break them down and see them for what they are, they lose their power over you. So it's good that you're doing some soul searching and examining this, because you don't want it to be where you're still caught up in the hope and the wish, because there's nothing for either of you here anymore. This person's already checked out emotionally and mentally. And I really hope that you're not in communication with them and they're telling you that well, and someday, it's just a lot of work. I really hope that they actually have left you alone and they've cut things off. We got the swords here and we got the high priestess. So I hope that because that's just cruel. They have no intention of returning. I feel like they want something new, and they'd rather be by themselves with all of their nice things around them that they like, and that's it. Maybe working towards someone else or not, but I don't think they want things to work out with the relationship that you have right now or anymore. And I don't think that you need, I think it's good if you remain emotionally distant from them. Perhaps they were emotionally distant from you for quite some time. I keep feeling like there's someone else. So we got this Lover's card here. I feel like there's been someone else for him. Because why would this be here and then turn around this passive aggressive, like unexpectedly delay, martyr, decision. So this is, and also this is very independent, this knight, right? So this is somebody that, might say one thing, but then in secret does something else that's very passive aggressive, very, if it's not passive aggressive, it's just not, it might give the appearance of giving hands, leaving hands off, leaving a situation to its own trajectory and just seeing what happens. But in reality, this is someone that's undermining it and delaying and playing the victim, or maybe subtly suggesting this or that, or watching you online and then telling everybody, oh, well, this is going to happen because they know you did this the other day. So then they turn around and go, yeah, I was really disappointed. I waited for them to come, but they never did. Oh, I see on Facebook that they went down to the beach, or just stuff like that. It could be as blatant as that. It could just be that somebody's very subtly sabotaging. I had a friend that, just as like to give you some idea of what I'm talking about, her mom offered her to use their house for the wedding, and everything was great, but turns out that I think the mom wanted to be able to justify getting some work done on the house in the name of where we're going to have people over and the wedding and all that and whatnot. But so on the one hand, she said she was very supportive and she was getting the house ready. But then anytime there was a meeting for the caterer or the DJ or whatnot, or the people that the rental furniture, all that, she just kept throwing delay after delay after delay. And she wasn't going to be home during this time, or, oh no, that's not a good day. Oh no, all of a sudden I'm not feeling well, this and that. And it was like, so she got her needs met over here, but she very subtly kept sabotaging the project. And that's kind of like what this is right here. I feel like is that they might be say, oh, you know, more time, but they're in a very secure position right here. Things are not what they seem. Yeah, they're quite happy with the way things are. They have no intention of moving from where they're at now that there's been this distance and separation. All right, Leo. Two things for Leo. What would their person say? Leo. What would Leo's person say to them? Wow. The first card in the deck and the second to last card in the deck. Okay, so this is speaking of a new love interest that proves promising, steady, reliable, and faithful, getting ready to settle down. So that could speak to this person's new love interest, right? That this is new. Or it could also be a new love interest inside of a committed, connected partnership that caused the person to feel tied down, weighed down, held back. So perhaps it's maybe nothing got off the ground while you were together, but I think this other person, is the reason why there's been distance. So it's almost like maybe they didn't do anything yet, but they had this person in mind, and that's why they started to detach and why your connection went south, because they want to start working towards a connection with this new person. Maybe there's that false honorableness right there. Well, we never did anything. No, but you were thinking it. You were, I don't know, you can't win in something like that. If somebody feels something for somebody else, then, I guess it is honorable if they didn't do anything about it, but it still just flat out sucks to know that, hey, you were thinking of that person when we were, or while you were, and I were at dinner the other night, or, I need more time to figure things out. Something is still missing for me, and I'm trying to figure out what that is. I don't feel like you need to talk to this person, Leo. I feel like you don't need to talk to this person anymore. As much as you can. I mean, situation permitting. As much as you don't have to talk to this person, I don't think you need to talk to this person anymore. I think it's just going to cause you pain, and I think they're going to say whatever's easiest, or they're going to obscure the truth. Not that you need to know, but it's just, what's the point? They're not in it anymore. I think you're better off just keeping to yourself. Okay, all right, Leo. Roundabout way to get there, but I got there. I hope this was helpful. I hope to see you in the next reading. And I hope you're through the worst of it here, okay? You just keep to yourself and keep on keeping on. Find that new interest and get yourself back on track and moving forward. This person they don't deserve any more of your time. Off they go. Take care.